why do we need to go to church? The third one is even more important, and it's even more personal. It's why do we need to go to this church? Ashby United Methodist Church. Why do we need to come here? Hopefully because it has something very special and very loving and very Christ-like to offer. If you don't know why you're going to this church, maybe you ought to start asking yourself. Because you see, it's really important. Why? Because your answer determines whether or not you're going to ask other people. That's right. How you feel about your church determines how you respond to others. How many of you are grandparents? How many of you have never showed anybody a picture of your grandchildren? Why not? You're not proud of them or anything, are you? Sure you are. Every one of us are. And when we're proud of something, what do? We tell people about it. We show it off. The thing you should be most proud of anything else is to say, I'm a Christian. The second most important thing is to say, this is my church. And if you're truly proud of it, like your grandchildren, you'll tell people about it. You'll want to tell people about it. Every chance you get, you'll tell people about it. Why? Because that is the driving force we have. When we're proud of something, we want people to know about it. The question is why do we want to go to this church? I hope it's because you find Christ here. Find support, find strength, find love, find joy and peace. Those are some of the attributes of the Spirit. And unless the Spirit's in a church, it can't possibly survive. We need to be conveying that to others. As Christ went on down the road, he came along, and this man came up to him and says, Lord, I want to follow you. And Christ turns to him and makes a very odd statement. It took me years to figure out what he was trying to say. He said, the foxes have dens and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Was Christ complaining because he didn't have a house? Of course not. It wasn't the point at all. A long time to figure out he wasn't talking about actually having a place. He was trying to tell that man that if you're going to follow me, you're going to be one of my disciples, you're going to have to accept that it's a continual journey. It's not some place you get and sit down, lean back, kick your feet up, say, okay, I'm here. I've arrived. Everything's fine. It's a continual journey. Going from place to place to place. Or in this case that we have today, from person to person to person. To let other people know about it. If the church sits back and doesn't reach out to folks in today's world, it's not a case that they'll come. People in today's world have to be invited. And they have to feel like it's an earnest, heartfelt invitation. That comes in about your attitude. You're welcome to say to somebody, you wouldn't want to come to church with me this week, would you? Boy, you're really enthusiastic, aren't you? Really want them to come. And they can tell it immediately. You wouldn't. Sure they would, if you really showed them that you care. You come up to them and you're all happy and say, boy, really love to have you come and join us and worship God this week. really want you to see how great and wonderful our church is. They'll come. Not everybody. And if you're worried about being told no, stop and look at how many times Christ's own people said no to him. Don't let that discourage you. Just kept going. The whole town turned him down. He said, no, I'm not going to hurt these people. I'm going to destroy them. I came to save them. If they don't want to hear it, then we'll go on. But at least we're going to let them know about it. Next, he tells the man, he says, follow me. You know what, folks? That's an invitation that Christ has made to each and every one of us. That's why we're here, should we? Because he said, follow me to our heart. And the man says, okay, Lord, but let me first go bury my father. That seems like a basically simple request, doesn't it? Christ looked at him and said, let the dead bury their own dead. You go and preach about the kingdom of God. Let the dead bury the dead. Let those, in other words, who are uninterested in doing the work of God, let them take care of their own. We're not going to worry about it. You go out and try to help and save other people. Help bring people to the kingdom of God. Help them understand what it is that I come to represent. Your Father's beyond hope. Don't worry about it. He'll do some good. How many of us spend our days and times worrying about the past, things that we can't change?